Hi everyone, welcome back to another sketching tutorial. In today's video, I'm going to talk about my thought process when drawing something as complicated as this. So I'm going to demonstrate using pen and ink today. I'm going to draw something like this and talk about how I go through all the different elements, what I think about when I draw them. Alright, let me show you the reference photo. This photo was taken with a wide angle lens. There is some distortion. Basically, objects that are nearer to the camera, they are going to appear larger, and objects that are further away, they are going to appear smaller. So that's the distortion. This wide angle lens is able to capture a lot of the scene. But in real life, when I'm looking at a scene, it's probably something like this. Alright, so this is the scene that I'm going to draw. Now when I look at the scene like this, first of all, the main thing I want to take note is what is the biggest element there. I want to include the biggest element. So it's actually this structure here, this vertical structure here. So once I include this structure into my sketch, because this is the biggest, everything else will be smaller. Everything else will be able to fit onto the page, because if I can fit the biggest object on my page, I can fit all the other smaller objects on my page. So this is probably the most important structure for me. I will be using this sketchbook today, and I will be using this Sailor fountain pen with a zoom nib. The zoom nib is able to produce very thick lines. I want to draw with thick lines today because I do not want to be caught up with the details. Alright, when I see a scene like this, the first thing that goes on in my mind is I need to include the largest object in the scene. And the largest object is actually this structure here, this giant pillar. I want to include this in because once I include the largest object in, all the smaller objects will be able to fit onto the page, because if I can include the largest object in, all the smaller objects, they will definitely fit onto the page. The other thing I want to find out is where is the vanishing point. So for that, I will use my pen basically to angle a line to all the angled lines here and find the vanishing point. The vanishing point is somewhere around here. The vanishing point is going to align to my eye level and the horizon. So that is a very important point, and that is going to be very helpful later on. I'm going to show that to you. But first, let's draw the structure. Now I'm going to draw this structure here first. This is a vertical rectangle. And this giant rectangle above this vertical rectangle is something like this. And the vanishing point is somewhere around here, right? So let me mark that with a cross so that I can see it clearer. And after I have this point, I can basically draw all the lines that are going towards the vanishing point just by pointing it to the vanishing point. So in this case, I can draw like this. This line is also going to the vanishing point, so I can basically just draw like this. And there we have it, the structure right at the top. And then I can just basically connect the lines. There are some support structures here, so I'm just going to draw them very simply. I know where they start around here. I know where they end around here, so I am just going to basically connect them like this. Now this part here, it coincides with this edge on the left side. That's why you will not be able to see the line behind. And there's another support structure here that goes all the way like this. Alright, let's draw the second pillar that is right behind. The second pillar is going to start here and it's going to end here. It's going to end here because this line going down is going down to the vanishing point. So again, we just draw a line like that. and basically draw this vertical structure like this. And draw the support structure. Alright. For the last pillar is being overlapped by the pillar right in front, so I will not be able to see a lot of it. But same thing, it's going to come from here and end right here because it's still going down to the vanishing point. Alright, now that I have this structure, I can start drawing other elements. I want to draw the people first because these people, they are overlapping all the other elements in the scene, so I need to draw them first. I am sitting down, so I am actually looking at their chest level. So let me put one person here first. You can draw people that are further away. Just make sure that this line, this horizon line, I'm going to draw it in like this so that it's easier for you to see. It's going to coincide with the chest level of all those people. And for people that are seated down, their eye level is about the same as my eye level. Now this guy, his head is actually tilted down, so he's a bit lower. This is my eye, and this guy is actually tilted, looking at something, so his eye level is lower. He's seated on a chair, and I think his partner is beside, looking at something as well. That's her hand. This is another chair. And there is a table. You can see this table here. I'm just going to draw the table very like this. This is in perspective, so it's going to curve. I think it's good to spend some time to study how thick that table is so that you can basically get the proportion right. Because drawing circles in perspective, it's quite challenging. So if you pay more attention to drawing circles in perspective, you are going to get a more accurate drawing. Actually, that applies to drawing every other thing in the scene. And there's this lady here. So this lady is looking at her phone. Make sure to align the level of her head. So it's going to the chest level of this guy. So it's around here. She has a very long ponytail, so I'm just going to draw it very casually like that. And this is her head. Notice that this table is intersecting with her head, so which is what I'm doing here. She's using her phone, so let me just draw in her phone like that. Alright. Now for the other elements, once you fit elements in the foreground, it's quite easy to draw all the other elements in the background. So I just want to draw a bit more people here. And maybe more of the structure here. Alright, the next line that I want to draw is this diagonal line that is created by the shop house here, this particular shop house. I need to know where it starts, so it's going to start somewhere around here, which is 1/3 of this, if I count from this point here to this point here. So it's 1/3, so it's going to start around here. And where it's going to end, it's going to end somewhere to the left side of this pillar. So it's going to end somewhere here. So that shop house is going to end somewhere around here. So again, I'm using the vanishing point here. I'm going to draw all the way, make sure I draw it, align it properly like this. And so the shop house is going to end somewhere around here. It doesn't have to be very accurate, but still it must follow some sort of proportion and perspective rules. And notice that there is a signboard there, an advertising sign. So I can go up, and this line here is also going to the vanishing point. So again, I can just draw like this. Oftentimes when you watch my time-lapse video, I will do things like this, and that is because I am trying to draw that line that goes to the vanishing point. Alright, now I can divide the shop houses into different heights. See this line here? This is the second story, this is the third story, and the second story, it actually comes to this point here. So again, using the vanishing point, I can draw like this. And now I can basically fit in all the other details now that I have the general shape of the shop houses. There is one shop house here, another here, there's one signboard here, and another here. I can draw in the windows as well. Notice how quickly I am able to draw all these windows. It's because I have the general shape there. If you want accuracy, make sure all the windows, they point towards the vanishing point as well. Alright, now I want to draw this store here. This store, it starts right here beneath this signboard here. So it's going to start a bit taller, it's going to start here actually. So it's going to start around here. And it's going to go to the vanishing point here. So again, it's going to be something like this. Go to the left, go down, watch where it ends. It's going to end somewhere on the pillar as well. So I'm still on the pillar. Like this, close it up. And again, align this line to the vanishing point. And there we have it. This structure here. And now I want to draw the bottom of this structure. I'm not sure if you can see it. Let me turn on the brightness. Alright, the bottom of this structure here, this is curving, or this is actually pointed upwards to the vanishing point. So this point here, this line here is actually lower than the vanishing point. Remember, the vanishing point is here, this is the horizon line, so this line here is actually lower. Did I point it correctly? I think I'm quite accurate, but not that accurate. As long as it points in the general direction, it is fine. There's a wheel here. And goes down here. And after you have basically this sort of structure, any of the horizontal line that is pointing to the horizon, you can just basically just point very quickly. You can draw very quickly now. So now I'm drawing very quickly because I know all these lines that are going to this direction, they are all going to the vanishing point. There is a person walking behind, and the person is in silhouette, so I'm just going to draw it like this. There are actually some tables and chairs here, but because these people, they are blocking the scene, so I can improvise. So I'm just going to draw the head here. Remember, the chest level is along this line. So chest level is here. I can draw a head here. So when I know the head is here, the chest level is here, the body is somewhere. This is the whole body, and this is going to be the leg. I can sort of get the general shape of the person. The important thing is to make sure that all these people, their chest level intersects with the horizon line. So now I have basically covered all the things, all the elements that are behind that I should be drawing, but all these people are blocking my line of sight. Now for this shophouse at the top, it looks something like this. So it's going to be, let me divide it into different sections first. It's going to end around here, and this line is going to be here. Sorry, my line is a bit curvy because it's very difficult to draw with the camera right here. So basically now I'm drawing this whole structure. And this area here is in shade, so I can actually use a brush pen, or I can just use my fountain pen and color that area. Some of these areas are in shade, so you can just go in and fill in the shadows with black, or later on if you are using watercolor, you can fill in those areas with very dark watercolor. Now on the right side, these angled lines, these are quite challenging for me because it's very difficult to gauge the correct angle if I'm just looking at it. That's why having a vanishing point here really helps. So I'm going to start with this roof here, this black roof, which is here. Goes like this, comes down like this and like this. So this whole thing is black. There are some lanterns. I'm just going to draw the lanterns like that. Now all these signboards, if you have the patience, you can actually draw them slowly. I will draw the first one that is closest to me first, which is this black board with red words. This black board with red words is going to start here between this and this. So it's going to start here, and it's going to be somewhere around here, I think. You have to measure the distance from the left to right. Like in this case, it's about 1, 2, 2.5. Or is it 3? This is 1, 2, 3, 3.5 boards away. So it's going to start here, it's going to end here. Alright. So I'm going to draw like this. And after I draw this, I can draw perhaps the angled lines. So the angled lines, I'm going to draw a very thin line. You can use pencil and later on ink it and then erase away the pencil. I'm just drawing this guideline to show you how I point this line to the vanishing point. And with this, I can very easily draw in all the other signboards. These are all overlapping. So as it gets further away to the background, I use very thin lines. I am actually not paying attention to what I'm seeing. I'm just basically just drawing any way I like. And this roof here, there is another roof here pointing to the vanishing point, another one here pointing to the vanishing point, and all these are little details. There's a person standing here, another person standing there. Make sure that their chest level intersects with the horizon line. And now I want to draw basically the roof section. So I'm going to use a thicker line just to draw like this. Now there is one big piece of roof here. So again, this big piece will be like this. Again, point it to the vanishing point. Because much of this roof is actually covered by the plants, I can basically just go in and scribble the plants. Again, if you want detail, if you want accuracy, then you can do it a bit slower. I'm just showing you my thought process. Let me show you the actual drawing. So I actually spent a bit more time to draw the plants in the actual sketch, so I'm able to make out the actual shapes of the leaves and the big plant here. But here it just looks like some scribble. And there's another petal here just right behind this plant. It goes all the way down. Alright. There is a signboard here. So for this signboard, I'm just going to basically, I think this signboard, I'm not sure why this is tilted in this way. I think it's because of the camera lens. So it should not be tilted this way. Because of the wide angle lens, all the vertical lines on this side, they are moving in like this, which is why this signboard is tilted. So that's the distortion that I'm talking about. And for the windows here, again, very easy to draw the windows. This is the top of the window. This is another window. And I want to draw the bottom of the window, the middle section of the window. So it's here, and it's here, it's here. And now I can basically just draw the ventilation for the window. And all these angles, they will be correct because they are all pointing to the vanishing point. A bit more plants here. And now just to add in some contrast, I'm going to use my brush pen. This is a Pentel brush pen. Basically just add in some details to the shadow areas, just to give it some contrast very quickly. This brush pen is running out of ink. And lastly, the sky looks a bit weird. That's because there are all these supporting structures. So now I'm going to draw all the supporting structures. I will be drawing with the tip of the pen because all these lines, they are thinner compared to all the main structures. So this is going to start around here. And this part is going to be like this. All the horizontal lines, they are easy to draw because they are just horizontal. I can just basically draw like this. This is a supporting structure, so I'll use thick lines for that. Now there are also lines going down, so again with the help of the vanishing point here, it's very easy. I'm just going to draw like this. I took about 25 minutes as I'm looking at the time on my camera. The actual sketch here took probably 1 hour to 1.5 hours. So if you want detail, then you do have to spend a bit more time. It's all about patience and how much detail you want to put in. Let's compare this pen and ink sketch with this watercolor sketch. Now the format is different. This is almost 4 by 3. This is panorama, so this is much wider compared to this. Now for this sketch, I was not able to fit this huge pillar here, so this pillar was cropped off from this side. But here I was able to fit this in. And this store here on the left side, I wasn't able to fit this in, but here I was able to do so. And the reason I was able to do so is because this is actually sort of a zoomed out view. So I drew everything a bit smaller. I drew this structure a bit smaller so that all these elements, they are a bit smaller so that I can fit all the elements into this sketch. Now for this sketch, I actually zoomed in. I zoomed in, so I had to crop out certain areas here and here. But because I zoomed in, I was able to draw all these elements, give all these elements more detail. So that's the difference. So that is the end of today's sketching tutorial. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section. By the way, this video is actually part of a video tutorial bundle that I am selling on my Gumroad webpage. So far I have made 3 sets, and this is going into set number 4. Now in set number 4 there are other videos as well. So if you want to learn more about sketching and also support my YouTube channel at the same time, you can get the Gumroad course. If you want to support me on my Patreon, well, these video tutorials, they are also available for my Patreon supporters as well. So you can watch the tutorials either on Gumroad or on my Patreon page. The link will be in the video description below. So thanks for watching. See you guys in the next video. Bye!